and children of yours in the diaspora, we would like to know what you have been doing all over the world for your kingdom and for all of us. And we are thankful for your life. So please briefly give us a synopsis of what you have been doing all over the world. Yes.
Thank you so much. I couldn't speak without it. My voice is not amplified very much. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
It's always a welcoming, and I feel so elated, and particularly when I meet persons of African descent here in America or all over the world. What it is that Africa will continue to be Africa, will continue to be great. For us, we are not resting until you all find your feet back home.
Yes.
Because that is your root. And the root and strength end of every tree is the root. That is where you are from. The African in the diaspora, the call for you all to come back home is one that is so close to my heart. And therefore, even in Ghana, the president and the people of Ghana, the leadership of Ghana, both as community leaders, if you ask, I would say leadership is one of service. We are in this privileged position to serve our people. And in any way possible that we can give you the best of service and affect your livelihood, that is when we can lift up our heads and be counted. Ethical leadership is what Africa needs. And that is my call. That we would continue to give this ethical leadership and preach this ethical leadership. Conferences like this is a very good and important platform to reach out to African leaders that have the positions they have is to give to the people, is to serve, is to make Africa great and strong, and let Africa take its place in the world. And this is what we need to understand, that we will always thrive in unity. And that is why it is important for us to be united and be not friends. Be masters of our own destiny. The Caribbean is an extension of Africa. You are weak here because Africa is weak. Until Africa becomes strong, and you are the only persons who can empower Africa back home to be strong. And therefore, if Africa assumes the position where we can also sanction America when they do wrong to our people, marginalize them, inequalities, then the world will wake up. This is the current call to all of you. Let us make Africa strong to be able to protect all its sons and daughters. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall we put our hands together for His Majesty? And we thank God. Oh yes, shall we please be on our feet one more time, even as we welcome the president of the conference of the Caribbean African Faith-Based Leadership, Dr. Agoron Dike. Shall we please welcome him? Good to see you. We thank God. His Majesty has summarized his work in Africa and what he would like us to do. So we thank God for his life. We're going to excuse him so that we'll be hearing more from him. Yes, we'll be hearing more from him in the course of the program. But please, the pleasure is mine to welcome, to speak to us briefly, Dr. Agoron Dike.
A pleasant good evening, everyone. It's indeed a joy to see all you distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are in for a time of greatness. It is indeed an honor to have with us His Royal Majesty and the other members of the royal team here to be with us on this, our 2022 African and Caribbean International Leadership Conference, which is hosted by the Caribbean and African Faith-Based Leadership Conference. Your Majesty, we hope you have been enjoying your visit here in the United States by our hospitality team. and we look forward to engaging you further. This is the third time we have hosted one of our traditional rulers or royal fathers from Africa. We had with us the Oni of Ife in Yoruba land, Nigeria, in 2016. We had with us His Royal Majesty, the King of the Yoruba Kingdom, Zanika Ikechukwu. He was here with us December. And it's indeed a joy to have our Royal Father, King of the Zanzule Kingdom, as we are very happy to accept and acknowledge the openness of Ghana to the world, the openness of Ghana to the African diaspora to engage. And in many conversations with His Majesty, not only the fact that he is intellectually astute in terms of law and policy and civic engagement, but he's a man that is very passionate about diaspora engagement and the need for the African American Caribbean community to come home and engage the motherland. So put your hands together for His Royal Majesty. We are really happy that you have graced us with your presence here. You are indeed our highest guest of honor. He has been brought here to be the chief honorary host and chairman of this evening's event. And we are truly joyful for the sacrifices you have made. We are looking forward to the great musical production of our African traditional music with vibration this evening, sponsored by His Royal Majesty. And we are looking forward to hear your beautiful words. Many African Americans and Caribbeans have been doing their ancestry to find out where they are from. And I remember, born in the island of Jamaica, after my dad died, I was maybe about 14, and there was a disengagement of ever possible having the chance to engage my family in Africa. And at that time, I was like in foster home. But God has made it possible for me not to go through the route of ancestry, but to reconnect with my African family and to go to Urala, Amanata Urala, Uzwakole. I might say and I was able to host my royal father of Urala Kingdom in December. So I never had to go through the ancestry process to know that I am a Caribbean Igbo. Or an Igbo Caribbean. And so this evening is an opportunity for those of you who have done your ancestry or waiting to do it, but you have the chance to engage with our royal father. And this is indeed great for us. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate all the individuals who have been invited from all over Africa, the Caribbean, and numerous states throughout the United States to be recognized with 3 categories of awards that will be presented this evening. The Global Humanitarian Leadership Award, which is given to individuals that had demonstrated a deep sense of sincerity and passion, but serves on a national and international level with a great body of work. And those are the hardest honorees to be approved by our committee, and we want to congratulate all our global humanitarian honorees. This evening, the conference has created a new category of award because we are engaging in royalty. And in this conference, we will be presenting the Royal Leadership Award for the very first time, and that will go to our honorary host, His Royal Majesty, our King of the Zanzule Kingdom. We want to also congratulate others who will be receiving the International Distinguished Leadership Award for your international work in either philanthropy, human rights, civic engagement, or economic development. We want to congratulate those in that category. We also want to congratulate 100 individuals who will be receiving the United States President's Lifetime Achievement Award. This is the highest civic award that a citizen of the United States can receive, signed by the President of the United States for your voluntary service and your resilient hard work in community development. Put your hands together for our Presidential Lifetime Honorees. The White House offers 4 categories of award. We have the bronze, the silver, the gold. But the lifetime is the highest award you can ever achieve. It is not easy for young people to get that award. Lifetime honorees, we want to congratulate you. I must say this morning we had a robust conference. This year our theme is United in Faith for Social Change. If there's not another time we need to have social change in our communities, is now. We are still battling with religious extremism and administrative terrorism and religious wars and civil wars in continental Africa. We are still battling with gang violence in the Caribbean region, and some of it seems to be politically associated or affiliated, and we are concerned that some of our Caribbean leaders may not have enough political will to deal with that problem. We are still concerned about governance in Africa. We are still concerned about the tribal violence. It is time for us to look beyond tribalism, to look beyond race, to look beyond religion, and realize that we are one people with one common destiny. We want to congratulate you here because one of the things that you have made possible is to prove to the world that African and Caribbean people can unite. I rephrase it. We are proving to the world that African, Caribbean, and African Americans can unite as one multicultural black community, knowing that our heritage and our roots is in continental Africa. We are very happy for our faith-based leaders who have traveled from Sierra Leone, Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana to be honored. And we invite the press to remain to record the stories of these royal religious fathers who are not only impacting the domestic and national landscape of their nation, but they are people of great global influence. And we in the diaspora look up to our fathers, whether royal, religious, or our village father, for their prayers and their guidance as we fight together to achieve greatness as the people of Africa living in these United States of America. We want to acknowledge as well that we are grateful for the United States of America and its Second Amendment, religious freedom, which is the 18th Amendment of the United Nations, because we struggle in our countries depending on geographical location, to express ourselves as a religious people. But the United States of America Second Amendment and the 18th Amendment of the United Nations give us the right to worship or the right not to worship. And irrespective of our religion, whether Christian, Muslim, Baha'i, Confucianist, Buddhist, or African or Caribbean indigenous religions, we have the freedom in this country to practice our religion and live our lives as one common people. We are also yearning for racial equality in this country. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King says that 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning is the most divided hour in America. We work together in different places, but we need to unite when it comes to worship, in the fight for social justice. We need to unite in the fight for immigration reform. We cannot allow Congress and the White House to believe that we are not concerned about the 11 million people undocumented living in the shadows, with approximately 1.5 to 2 million of them being from the African and Caribbean community. We have to unite and be that voice. We have to unite with those that are of the Spanish, the Haitian, and the other immigrant groups in the United States, because we want immigration reform. Someone says that you have a time for human rights, for civil rights, for religious rights, for gay rights. May you join with me and say, now is the time.
Now is the time
for immigrant rights.
for immigrant rights.
Another thing I want to point out is the fact, and we are grateful to the United States government, that we are celebrating Haitian American Heritage Month, Jewish American Heritage Month, Caribbean American Heritage Month, and even Black History Month. But within the United States, we have thousands and millions of people that speak a foreign language, that comes from a different village, that are high achievers in the STEM, science, maths, technology, engineer. We produce the highest numbers of Black medical professionals and PhDs in the STEM from any university across the United States. But it is unfortunate that one of the areas that is not celebrated is African Heritage Month. Now we have several states and counties have legalized African Heritage Month, but we are calling upon the White House, we are calling upon Congress to partner with us, leaders of the African diaspora, and make September African Heritage Month in the United States of America. We want to have a month where our presence can be celebrated. We are in this country over 400 years in the United States. We have recently elected our first Black female judge in Prince George's County, Judge April Adeyemi. But we are not only advocating for justice, for unity, for partnerships, but we want our renaissance, our achievements, our contribution to diversity, our contribution to economic development. The African community in the United States of America has one of the highest numbers of Black registered nonprofit organizations, among the highest number of registered indigenous townships registered for missions and charities in their nations. A resilient people, highest numbers of nurses and doctors. And you know what? We are one of the fastest growing population of faith-based organizations, representing the strongest churches in the United States of America. Our renaissance deserves to be celebrated. I close by saying this. What is this evening about? This evening is about the celebration of excellence. We are celebrating not only those that have impacted the lives of others by demonstrating sincerity and solidarity in helping and loving the neighbor as themselves. We are not only celebrating the demonstration of love and compassion for the marginalized, those that are oppressed and depressed, but we are celebrating the impact of those who also serve Africa, our Chinese, Caucasians, and others, who have also partnered in the development of the continent of Africa and the Caribbean. And these awards, and we want to thank the White House because it takes like 15 working days to produce these awards, and we have been producing them in 2 to 3 days because they value what we do.
Yes.
And we want to thank the Biden administration for all the support and the cooperation in allowing the descendants of slaves that came here 400 years ago in shackles. And some have come of your free will as students, as workers, to be able to celebrate that I have been a recipient of the United States President Lifetime Achievement Award. It is a monumental legacy for all of you, because in years to come, your children and your grandchildren will look back and say that my grandmother and my grandfather was honored by the United States of America. We are happy to have you with us. In our conference, we focus on several major topics: social and economic development, and we looked at mission partnerships, how we can work together. And we look forward to have you invite the press to stay with us and to celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming, and I hope that these words will inspire you as we will rise up and live up to our God-given calling, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your race, irrespective of your class, and irrespective of your culture. Never forget that we are one people with one common destiny. God bless you.